Finally, Becky arrested, Carla's fate confirmed after a kidnapping nightmare. Coronation Street. Coronation Street delivers one of its most harrowing and emotionally searing climaxes in recent memory as Becky Swain is finally arrested, bringing a long simmering and deeply disturbing storyline to its long-awaited conclusion. What began as a puzzling disappearance spirals into a chilling tale of obsession, manipulation, and violence, one that leaves Weatherfield shaken to its core and, at last, confirms Carla Connor's fate after weeks of fear and uncertainty. For viewers, the arrest marks the explosive end of a nightmare that has been quietly tightening its grip for months. Carla's fractured memories, her heavy silences, and her growing sense of dread were never merely signs of exhaustion or stress. They were the echoes of trauma, subtle clues pointing toward a truth far darker than many wanted to believe. When that truth finally surfaces, its impact is devastating, not only for Carla, but for everyone who loves her. Carla's ordeal did not begin with violence. It began with trust. Becky Swain, long believed dead, mourned as a painful relic of the past, re-entered Carla's life cloaked in remorse and apparent vulnerability. Presenting herself as a broken woman with nowhere else to turn, Becky preyed on Carla's compassion at a moment when she was already weighed down by pressure, guilt, and responsibility. That single act of kindness would prove catastrophic. What followed was a slow, insidious descent into terror. At first, Becky's presence felt merely unsettling, awkward, uncomfortable, but tolerable. Gradually, however, the facade began to fracture. Her need for control intensified. Her jealousy of Carla's life, her love, and her resilience curdled into something far more dangerous. The tension simmered until it finally exploded in a brutal, calculated assault that left Carla battered, traumatized, and fighting for her life. The attack is almost unbearable to contemplate, not only for its physical violence, but for its psychological cruelty. This was no moment of blind rage or impulsive fury. It was a deliberate attempt to dismantle Carla's identity and strip her of power. Becky's accusations, spat through clenched teeth, exposed the depth of her obsession. She blamed Carla for her failures, her lost love, and her own sense of worthlessness, revealing a woman who had convinced herself that destroying Carla was the only way to feel whole. When Carla is finally found, bruised, shaken, but alive, the relief is overwhelming. For a terrifying stretch of time, it genuinely felt as though she might not survive. Yet survival comes at a cost. The vacant shock in Carla's eyes tells a story of its own, the gaze of someone who stared directly into the abyss and barely found her way back. As the truth emerges, shockwaves ripple across the cobbles. Lisa is consumed by guilt and rage, replaying every moment she allowed Becky into their lives, every warning sign she dismissed. Seeing Carla in hospital, vulnerable and broken, shatters her composure completely. Her devastation underscores the brutal price of misplaced trust. Kit, too, is forced to confront the reality that Becky evaded justice for far too long. As the final pieces fall into place, the drive to bring her to account becomes unstoppable. Weatherfield's mood shifts from confusion to grim resolve. There is no longer any doubt, Becky Swain is dangerous, and she must be stopped. The investigation accelerates as Carla finds the strength to speak. Her memories return in painful fragments, threats whispered in the dark, calculated isolation, and the chilling realization that Becky's actions were meticulously planned. Each revelation tightens the noose. The narrative Becky once controlled collapses beneath the weight of evidence, exposing her manipulation and lies in stark, unforgiving detail. The arrest itself is raw and cathartic. As police arrive and handcuffs are drawn, Becky veers wildly between defiance and desperation. She insists she has been misunderstood, claims Carla forced her hand, and lashes out at everyone else for her pain. It is a final, futile attempt to cling to control, and it fails. The evidence is irrefutable, the damage undeniable. As Becky is led away, her power evaporates. For viewers, it is a moment heavy with justice. the woman who terrorized Carla finally stripped of her influence, her screams fading as the car door slams shut. For Carla, the confirmation of Becky's arrest brings both relief and an intimidating new beginning. The nightmare may be over, but the scars remain. Her recovery is portrayed with unflinching honesty. There are no miraculous turnarounds, no easy resolutions. Sudden sounds make her flinch. Once safe spaces feel unfamiliar. Flashbacks strike without warning. Yet amid the trauma, resilience emerges. Carla begins, slowly, haltingly, to reclaim her story. She speaks the truth aloud on her own terms, refusing to let Becky define what happened. Lisa remains by her side, wrestling with her own guilt as their relationship evolves into something fragile yet fiercely honest, grounded in vulnerability and unwavering support. Beyond them, the wider community is forced into a collective reckoning. Neighbors confront an uncomfortable truth: danger does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it slips in quietly, disguised as regret, sorrow, and need. Ultimately, Becky's arrest is more than the downfall of a villain. It is a powerful statement about accountability, survival, and the destructive cost of obsession. Carla Connor's fate is confirmed not as a tragedy, but as a testament to endurance. Scarred but standing, she looks toward a future that finally belongs to her again. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more movie spoilers next week. Goodbye, and see you again.